Okay, class. A lot of you guys been asking, how do you paint these planes? How do you paint them and not get the tape to lift up the paint? So this is going to be quick. So listen up. I'm not a professional. I just learned reading books and watching other people's videos, and I just experimented with what works with me. And if you don't like it, you can do whatever you want. But basically, let's take a look. You've seen some of these planes since last year. You remember the Cessna was one of the earlier ones we did. And of course, all my planes have Cali graphics. And we just did the T-28 Blue Angels this year, a couple weeks ago, just last week really. Took it down to E-Jets in Ohio, along with the Avanti S repainted. And last year we took the Freewing A10, painted it, and took that to E-Jets, showed it off down there. So as you can see, sorry about that. My goodness, we got camera mixed up here. They don't too bad. Couple things. Let's talk about popcorn. This EPO foam will popcorn if you get it in the sun, or if you hit it with something too hot, like a heat gun. I do want to show off the A10, because how I do it is this one got 6 coats of polyurethane Minwax on it, and we'll go through all this shortly. And you notice it's not popcorning. It's very smooth, even on the nacelles. Didn't popcorn. Very happy with it. That technique. Used it a little bit over here on the Avanti S. It's holding up pretty good. This is still new, but it held up on a cloudy day, not real, been out in the real sun. Also, for some of you guys, we do fly these planes, and as you can see, the Avanti got some scratches from E-Jets last week due to pilot error, because do not deploy full flaps 10 feet off the ground at low speed or she will stop. You must have some airspeed, must have some throttle to deploy the full flaps, or do as my friend Pete Frost says, go with half flaps. But I always do full flaps, and I just didn't know that. So next time I'll have power, and she's going to grease in. But after we did that little scratch mishap, we took her up and flew the heck out of her, because I didn't care after that. But of course, we did fly the T-28 down there and didn't put one scratch on her. I do love to show off my flight medal, because it turned out really well for a first-time person trying that. Love the T-28. Okay, get down to business here. How do you do this stuff? All right, class, pay attention. Here we go. A couple things you can do. One, go to Walmart.com and look on their website for Krylon Craft Foam Primer. This will go on the foam and give you a primer base which you can shoot your paint on and not eat the foam. If you don't want to do that, you go with the tried and true Minwax polyurethane foam brush. Brush it on, let it dry. I like to do 6 coats. It may take you a couple hours to let it dry, or it dries pretty fast, like in an hour. But let it dry, build up the coats, and then wet sand it down, get it nice and smooth. And the new technique that I'm going to be doing is using the Rust-Oleum Ultra Coat primer and paint put together, 2X. Because that's going to save me from putting primer and then paint on top of it. So I'm going to put the Minwax, and then I'm going to shoot the paint. And if I need to wet sand in between any coats like that to get the thickness I want, I'll do that. So that's going to save me some weight on the planes. The other thing that you can try is Pledge Floor Care Finish. Does the same thing as the Minwax, but it's a lot thinner. Goes on faster, dries quicker. I did my Skip Stewart biplane in it. Really like the turnout of it. Nice. Okay, so either one of these you want to do, try and experiment, you should have no problem. The other thing you need to do, I ripped the label off here, you need to get some foam filler because you're going to ding these planes and you're going to need to patch some foam, sand it, and then keep painting. This is a must in the shop. Foam filler everywhere. Also, I have assortment of color of touch-up paint pens because that's my secret. When you mess up something, you can just go back with a pen real quick and touch up a spot, and that way you don't have to shoot the whole plane. Also have different size brushes because the other technique I use, if I'm doing some color and I mess up something, I will shake up a can, spray it on a piece of cardboard, take my brush, rub it in there, and then take my paintbrush and fix the defect. Works really well, people don't notice it, and you're great. All right. The other thing that you need to do that I don't have out right now is I have a DeWalt heat gun. Yes, I went out and bought a fancy DeWalt heat gun, and this one I like because it has temperature setting up to over 1,000 degrees. But I always set my gun at 150 degrees. How do you get these sharp lines here with your tape or your pinstriping? Is you need a heat gun. You need something to warm up the tape before you pull it. And you always have the gun pointing at my hand so I know that I'm either too hot or too cold because my hand's going to get hot. So I have it there and then I'm pulling the tape with my gun. And you can see the glue let go, start to loosen up, and you can pull, and that will stop you from lifting the paint from the foam. But if you give it a hard base with Minwax, that's a good start. Now we talk about lifting the paint off. I always use the Frog yellow tape. People use the green, the blue, whatever. It's up to you. You're asking me what I use. Frog yellow, it's for delicate surfaces, it lets loose really good, and I like it for doing my panel lines. Also, I have assortment of sizes of pinstripe tape so that I can lay out this line first with a pinstripe. And then after I've got this line down, then I'll take my Frog tape and my paper and lay that on the line because that gives you a really crisp, sharp line, and you'll be able to have a lot better chance of not pulling the paint up and getting nice, sharp, straight lines. There's another one, 3M delicate surface tape. That's another one to get. The other thing too, remember the old trick, put it on your shirt, lift it up about 3 or 4 times. That lets the glue so it does not so tacky. Everybody knows about that trick, so I'm not gonna go over that too many times. Okay, so that's basically overall. I've given away all my secrets. The rest is just patience and creativity and putting coats on and wet sanding coats. If you wet sand between your coats and dry it off and use your tack cloth, you're going to come out with a plane that's light, nice and light, but yet it looks good. Now, the other thing is, I am not a professional painter. I am a network engineer, work on computers, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff, switches, routers. I don't know about painting. Some of you guys are super painters and you know what you're doing. All of this is experimentation that I did on my own. So I am just making something that I can be happy with when I go to an air show or go to the field or just let somebody come over and take a look at my stuff. The other thing is, let me get the camera and walk you around here and let me show you one more thing. Here's the wing off the A10. And let's try to get a close up. I'm proud of this wing because it did not popcorn. That's nice and smooth, and it has the Minwax Probably 3 coats on there, maybe 6. But the more you do it, the smoother it's going to get, and that really turned out good. I've got some clear coat on top of that too. You also see that I put some rivet lines in that, and that's just with a toothpick dulled, and just lay out your pattern. Simple little stuff to dress it up just a little bit. Just want to dress it up a little bit. Here's the wing off the Avanti. If you can see that. That one did not popcorn either in the sun. Very nice. This one, I used a Dremel tool with a very thin blade and made these holes to make my rivet lines. And that turned out really good. I really like the finish. These planes do not feel like a foam airplane anymore. They're nice and tight and hard. They almost feel like fiberglass when you touch them and you come up on them. People are pretty amazed. You can squeeze them and they don't give at all. I'm like on the Blue Angels, that one got like 3 coats of clear. So that one's really kind of super hard, but I like the clear coat. I wanted it to be shiny so when I buffed it out, it would have a good surface for me to do that on. Very happy with the way it flies. All these planes, if you're asking me, did the paint make it less aerobatic, less heavy, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. All I know is all of these planes are fast, and I had to hold them back. I didn't fly any of them over half throttle because they were just going way too fast. Of course, I put a lot of wax on them before I took them to the air show, but they're really fast. So I think if we just let them go and rip, you're going to be plenty happy. I don't think anybody's going to be smoking me or anything like that. The other thing I do, and this is just a freebie, but get yourself some good wing bags, or make you some, or buy some. I don't care. I always keep my stuff in wing bags. These are from Hobby Pack because they're nice and thick, and I can hang them on the wall, and they're out of the way. But when I travel, I know my wings aren't getting all dinged up because I got a foam airplane. I invested a lot of money in a lot of foam airplanes, more than you guys see here. And there's going to be some really cool paint jobs that are coming out because I've got all the decals for my next ones. I got an F4 Phantom. I got a really souped up P-51 Mustang that's going to knock your socks off. And I might have to get rid of some of these planes because they keep coming out with all these new foam airplanes that I probably want to take a look at. So, like I said, you're asking me what I do. This is how I do it. I've gotten excellent results on my paint jobs, not knowing what I'm doing, but like I say, if you mess up, sand it down and reshoot it, and you can't go wrong. Now, let's get the old camera and take a look at something of the bad stuff we talk about. You notice here, if we get real close, we got a little popcorn going here, right here. And right across here. That was due to me putting this decal on from Cali Graphics. And my heat gun was set on 1,000 degrees and I didn't know it. And I didn't have my hand in front. And that caused this popcorn. The fix for this would have been to put some foam filler on it, sand it a little bit, and shoot it with some paint and some gloss, and this thing looks brand new and nobody would even know it. But this is my trainer that I go out and do touch and goes with, so I learned a lot with it, and it's good. It's a good paint job, and you see how smooth the back end is. This stuff is really smooth, man. I mean, the way that turned out when you put that polyurethane on that, very happy. Very happy with this one. Did not get the 6 coats of polyurethane. What you're seeing here is what I did was just put primer on it, paint it, 3 coats of clear, and decal. Put the decals on and then 3 coats of clear over top of it. That's why you can see a little bit of popcorning way deep underneath it because it didn't come out like the A10 because I took the time to do the A10 with 6 coats of polyurethane because I had the time. I wasn't trying to get to an air show in a week or 2 weeks like I did with that one. So take your time and you'll get superb results out of it. It'll look better, less popcorning. And for some other, if you do it right, you'll be all right. What else we got? That's about it, guys. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully it's not too boring. That's it, man. Jetman, I'm out.